I'm Captain Dave Gorley. This is part of a series of informational videos on the recently negotiated extension LOA. All of the videos in this series will be available to the pilot group on the Extension Letter of Agreement website at www.extensionloa.org, as well as the MEC's new dedicated Extension LOA Facebook page. I encourage all United pilots to review the extension LOA so they can make an informed vote when ratification balloting begins in January. Please check your email for ongoing news and additional information regarding the extension LOA. In this video, I would like to answer a few common questions we see from pilots regarding FRMS and address some UPA improvements contained in the extension LOA. First, what exactly is the Fatigue Risk Management System? The FRMS is a method of studying the safety of certain flights conducted beyond the block hour and table C flight duty period limitations prescribed by FAR 117. With ALPA approval, United applied to the FAA and received permission to operate certain flights under an exemption that required additional fatigue mitigations above and beyond FAR 117. The pilots who operate these flights may volunteer to participate in a scientific rest study to determine if these flights can be operated safely and provide adequate rest for the crew members. Once enough data from these pilots has been collected and analyzed, and if the third-party sleep study group determines that the flights can be conducted safely, then the FAA may issue an op spec to the carrier authorizing them to operate that particular flight going forward with the new certified flight duty period and rest limitations. Why do we have an FRMS? With the advent of FAR 117, carriers, including United, found they could no longer reliably operate their ultra-long-haul flights. The tight flight duty period constraints of FAR 117 Table C were causing too many cancellations and too many company requests for pilot flight duty period extensions. The FAA noticed the schedule unreliability and asked the carriers what their remedy would be. The remedy at United was the establishment of the FAR 117 desk at the Network Operations Center and our FRMS. Conducting the FRMS flights and studying the data may prove they can be operated under an alternate method of compliance that meets or exceeds the safety standards afforded by the original prescribed FAR 117 limitations. In other words, they can be proven safe to operate with flight duty period limits greater than those in FAR 117 Table C. What changed with FRMS in the extension LOA? ALPA has created a detailed template covering all the safety concerns addressed in previous FRMS applications and has agreed that any flights or trips that fit this template have our approval. The template language is included in the new paragraph 3G of LOA 22 and includes the following highlights. All of the rest periods required on the FRMS template trips are FAR rest. This means you are free from all constraints. So at the end of a trip, there is no phone availability and no requirement to check your schedule. Only applies to double augmented flights on aircraft equipped with Class 1 rest facility. All 777-200 FRMS legs now receive a guaranteed second premium brake seat. Max FDP increase is 90 minutes over Table C, and there is a corresponding minute-for-minute reduction in the FAR 117.19 extension time for every minute over 60. Max block hour increase is 60 minutes. If the originating flight of the trip is an FRMS leg, the rest period prior must be no less than 12 hours and 45 minutes and protect one physiological night's rest, which includes the hours between 0100 and 0700 acclimated time. FRMS layover rest must be no less than 22 hours scheduled and no less than 18 hours actual, and must also contain one physiological night's rest. Rest following FRMS trips shall be no less than 30 hours. This means 30 hours free from all obligation to the company. After 30 hours, reserves resume long call unless they are on a day off, and the normal UPA minimum notification rules apply for reserve assignments. 10 hours to short call, 12 hours to field standby, 13 hours to depart on the next trip. FRMS is more than just rest studies and flight duty period extensions, however. The FRMS can also be described as a system consisting of several components whose purpose is to control fatigue risk in aviation operations. Some of these components are a company FRMS policy, an education and awareness training program, a method of monitoring flight crew fatigue, and a non-punitive fatigue reporting system. At United, when a pilot files a fatigue FSAP, the Fatigue Review Committee reviews it and a determination is made as to the nature of the fatigue. Was it self-induced? Was it operationally induced? Or was it non-operationally induced? All these data points go into studying and improving the safety and reliability of our operation. This FRMS system must be firmly established before a carrier will be granted permission to carry out FRMS flights, as we've already discussed. And finally, what about FRMS and ADPA? It is important to note that extension ADPA for FRMS flights triggers at the underlying non-exempted Table C FDP limit as opposed to the exempted FRMS FDP limit. This means that on FRMS flights, ADPA can automatically trigger early, even before pilot concurrence for an extension is required on some flights. A full explanation on the conditions governing automatic ADPA for extending a flight duty period is covered in the MOU 22 replacement video. Please see that presentation for more details. Thank you for watching this video on FRMS. Please send any questions you have to extensionloa@alpa.org, and please watch the other videos in this series on the Extension LOA website, www.extensionloa.org, or on our dedicated LOA Extension Facebook page.